February 9th, 2026. We'll call the meeting to order. If we could all stand up and say the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Can I have roll call, please, Cheryl?
Mike Brady?
Yeah.
Matt Peterson?
Yes.
Lisa Buddy?
Yes.
Adam Ryder?
Yes.
Number 4, approval of the agenda. Any questions or comments with anything on there?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Matt Peterson?
Yes.
Matt Brady?
Yeah.
Lisa Buddy?
Yes.
Adam Ryder?
Yes.
Number 5, I believe we can skip. So let's jump down to 6, the consent agenda. Any questions, comments, concerns with anything you see on there?
I just had a couple of questions. One was the, like $100 or something for the water cooler things? Is that just refills, like refill water bottles?
A new machine.
What's
A
that?
new machine.
A new
There's
machine? I
broke.
thought it was kind of high in water. Okay. Okay, that answers that. And then the other one was on sewer water, the Eastern Iowa bill for $100 and some.
Was the water main break on behind the
Behind the
high
school.
school there? What's that?
On South Street.
South Street.
Because it was labor in Kubota, so I assume Kubota was equipment. They had to hire, you can do internally, or we hired them out, or,
I don't know. It was
The
something.
ground was too frozen for ours or something like that, I don't remember, but they did hire it out. And Ray was on vacation, so they were down a guy.
okay. Just, I guess we'll just find out why we hired. I'm just curious why we had to hire and why we had equipment on it, labor and equipment both.
How much was it?
800, I'm trying to find it here. I should look at this. I figured it'd be on here. Okay, here it is. Eastern Iowa Plumbing and Heating, water main break, South Street, labor Kubota, $832.50. You know, so we got equipment and labor, you know.
Okay.
Didn't he send us multiple invoices at that time?
I'm gonna look to find out for us.
We'll look up the invoice and.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. Okay, any other questions with anything on there? Okay, if not, I will ask for a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve consent agenda?
Second,
Second.
and roll call, please.
Lisa Buddy?
Yes.
Adam Ryder?
Yes.
Matt Peterson?
Yeah, with explanation of that bill.
Matt Brady?
Yeah.
Bill Meyer?
Yes.
Number 2. Actually,
I think that
that's,
counts.
yeah, that's number 7,
No,
sorry.
no, sorry.
Proposed tax rate levy, discuss and consider approval, setting the public hearing of March 23rd, 2026 for fiscal year 2027, proposed tax rate levy. This is just to make sure that we meet all of our deadlines for when we have to get it to the paper.
Yeah, we don't have to finalize it tonight, but I will kind of present a couple scenarios. So if we can just go ahead and set the public hearing for the 23rd first, and I'll go and explain the rest.
Okay, any questions with that?
I'll make a motion to approve setting the public hearing for March 23rd, 2026 for fiscal year 2027 proposed tax rate levy.
Second,
Second.
and roll call, please.
Bill Meyer?
Yes.
Matt Brady?
Yeah.
Adam Ryder?
Yes.
Matt Peterson?
Yes.
Lisa Buddy?
Yes.
I'm gonna go ahead and
Oh,
review
okay, yeah,
that
you wanna-
with you guys while we're here. This is the revised one that I redid. I'll just go back and explain this one. I guess it's just as easy. The scenario we presented at the last meeting, was a overall tax rate of 12.381. For the GO debt levy out of debt service, I had only set aside, 41,783. Our actual total obligations for those GO debts are 120,331. And, our auditors, when we were here, told us that our negative deficit in the debt levy fund should be addressed. So I reevaluated and, I went ahead and put the numbers in to obligate the full 120,331 in the debt service levy, and then went ahead and reduced the special levies of, liability, dropped that one down about 20,000. I kept FICA NIPERS the same, and I lowered the other benefits, including health and work comp. Now so that gave us a difference in the special levies of 78,548. In the past, we have protected our general fund by dividing it out of gas and electric, in lieu of taxes. If we would budget 39,274 out of gas and electric, that would make up the difference that the general fund would lose from those other special tax levies. So, and like I said, we budget for it. If our general fund at the end of June ends up in a healthy positive, we literally don't have to approve the transfers at that time. Just to cover everything and work on getting that deficit fixed and still not hurting the general fund. That's what I would propose we base our tax rate on. So to go a little further, for the current fiscal year 2026 in the blue, we take an average household assessed value at $20,000. The rollback in 26 was 47.4316%. Gave us a taxable value for that $200,000 home at $94,863. You divide that by 1,000 and take it times the levy rate of $12.38. Gave a tax obligation for the city only for $1,174.60. Now in 2027, if we keep that house value at $200,000 times the rollback, which the rollback actually decreased a percentage, gave us a taxable value of $89,069. You divide that by 1,000 times the new levy rate, it's close to what the first one was. It only dropped like by a penny by making all those changes. So the taxable obligation would be $1,102.50, $71.74 on that $200,000 house. But then you have to throw in a variable. That $200,000 house, since we had a growth in valuation of an average of 7%, that house went up $14,000 times the rollback, gave the taxable value at 95. So that $200,000 house becomes 214 with taxable valuation of 95.3. Divide by 1,000 times the levy is a tax obligation for the city, an increase of $5.45. So, either scenario, you just have to remember, people ask you if our taxes are gonna go up. Our taxes are not going up, but depending on the value of your house, whether that goes up or not, is gonna affect what the outcome is.
Yeah, and they've made changes to those rollbacks in the last couple of years. So that's at the state level. So our hands are really tied with that, and I don't know what the latest talk is. I don't know, maybe you guys know, but I mean, kind of from what I've heard, the rollback might keep dwindling.
Mhm.
So they're not making it easier on small towns. I'll just put it that way.
I did go ahead and figure it for my own house, the same scenarios. And so, with the new 2026, it would have been 1149. What the percentage of my actual increase of the property that the county did was 10.8%. So now it's gonna be an increase of over 26, for over $46. And I did it for everybody, but if anybody wants to take a look at this spreadsheet, kind of see where you guys are at individually, so at least you'll be able to explain it to people if they have questions on when to get their tax bill, what the city proposed.
Yeah, so our levy is actually going down a
At a
penny,
penny.
so.
And if we would've, the rollback was decent this year. So if your house didn't increase in value at all, it's gonna be less than it was last year. It just depends on
Yeah,
everybody's
so-
is different.
Yeah.
Any questions on the different scenarios, if it makes sense, or anything else? I talked to Kelly, who knows her taxes in and out, and she said it's best to obligate for as much of the debt service as you can. And then do with what you can internally to subsidize if the general fund's gonna be hurt, so.
And that's not something, the debt service is not something we need to, like, eliminate in one swoop, you know, we can kind of chip
We
away at it,
can,
right?
and there are some transfers that will be done from the revenues that we're getting this year from the debt service levy that may actually bring it in a positive. What the main goal of it is to have it break even.
Right.
What we pay out, deposit into the debt service and then pay our bills. So we can approve, at the next meeting, or when we set, we don't have to approve it until we have the budget hearing, but I do have to get those numbers into the Department of Management, website to meet the publication requirements, so gotta let, you know, it has to be published.
So I guess
So
I
many
could-
days before the public hearing.
I'm confused why there's two different scenarios, in the green and the tan, or pink, or peach, whatever it's called.
Up here, you mean?
Yeah, yep,
I did the first scenario at the last meeting.
Yep.
But then I thought about it, and instead of not taking all of the debt service levy, I thought we should obligate for the full 120.
okay. And then down below, what's the difference between the blue, the pink, and or the blue, the green, and the pink?
The blue is what the,
Last year's was, yep. I got
last
that.
year's tax levy. The green is if that same household valued at $200,000 didn't have an increase in value.
Oh, okay.
So like on Beacon or.
So that, if it stayed the same, that's the green,
That's-
but if it went up with the average 7%, that's the,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
If-
Okay.
Yeah, the average 70% is that $14,000 increase in that value.
Yeah, okay, okay, fair enough.
Try to make it as easy to understand as I
And
can
then,
do.
what did we do differently that our tax levy is going down by a penny? What did we do?
Well, I can't get it out to the exact penny.
Or whatever, it's actually going down, so what changed that makes it go down?
It changed because of the special levies.
Okay,
See, when I swapped it out on the Department Managed website, put the 120,000 in the debt service, then I had to kind of mess with the numbers on the other special levies, just to kind of get it to come as close as I possibly can without, it won't be like quite to the penny.
yeah.
Great.
That's really all I had to discuss on that. Any questions?
Is there a max levy rate?
Well, this is the,
Okay, that's what I'm thinking of. That's, okay.
so last year for
The
fiscal,
8-1,
yeah,
Yeah,
the
okay.
8.12 was our combined general fund levy last year. We had a 7.9% growth. It says over on the right, 7.9. Gave us a maximal allowed, that lowered our tax maximum allowed. We actually grew 7%, but the limitation percentage, because of the rollback, we could only grow a maximum of 3%. So that brings our consolidated general fund max rate down to 7.88. So down here on column C, oops, that 7.88954 carries down to that. And then line 14 on the liability property insurance is where I lowered it to 23.8. Support of local management, I left that the same at 5,940 because that was what it's gonna cost us this year. So we levied the full amount for that. And there are other special levies of FICA and IPERS, left that at 45,000. And employee benefits is the one I lowered the most to keep our overall rate, which is down in the bottom right corner of 12.37794. So yeah, the max rate is 7.88954 that we started.
okay. Okay, clear as mud? No, you did a good job, Sheriff, breaking that all down, making it easy. It's just, it's so.
There's so much involved in it. Yeah, I tried to rob Peter, pay Paul,
It'd
and,
make you go cross-eyed real quick.
yeah. So, yeah, anyway.
Yep. Anybody got questions or? Anything on that? And like Cheryl said, we're not setting it tonight, we're just kind of going over, the possibilities or kind of what we're looking at.
And this is, we can always raise it, as our, maximum taxable rate levy for that we'll have at the public hearing. And in the meantime, between the 23rd and the time the budget has to be submitted, we can lower it. But if we wanna increase it, just,
Then our hands are tied if we don't, if we're not.
we can set that levy, we can always go down, but
Right,
we can't go
we can't
up
go up,
what's
yeah.
that. So if we set it at whatever we had, 1237, that is the highest we can go, which I think is adequate for what we need. And if we need the general, or the utility money, we have it there to use if we put that in the budget too.
That works for me. 2026.
Yeah, last year, the IRS mileage rate that they set for 2026 was 70 cents. This year, they increased their standard business mileage rate by 2.5 cents, so we're at 72.5. We have always in the past followed what the IRS sets as the standard, so it's just, makes the resolution current to what we're charging. Or what we're reimbursing, I guess.
Okay, so we're at 72.5 cents per mile then?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, any questions about that? If not, can I have a motion to approve that resolution?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2025-13.
Second?
Second.
Okay, roll call please.
Matt Charity,
Yes.
Lisa Buddy,
Yes.
Dylan Meyer,
Yes.
Adam Ryder,
Yes.
Matt Peterson.
Yes.
Okay, number 9, codification, discussion on review of ordinance changes. If you remember, we talked about this last meeting. A couple of the things in there that we were talking about, maybe adding, or kind of changing some wording on. I don't know if anybody got a chance to kind of look through those, read through if there's anything they wanted, felt strongly they wanted changed on any of those, or?
Yeah, we'll start with the adult entertainment one. This is the one that's currently in our ordinance. I don't know why it was ever put in there. It's pretty lengthy and into detail, blah, 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 but whether or not pertains to us. Marla just wondered if we wanted any thoughts on keeping it or eliminating it. She really didn't have any suggestions on changes of wording or anything, but is it applicable to Preston? It's not hurting anything, in case somebody, you know.
That's what I'm thinking, it's like if it's not hurting, you kind of know.
There.
You
Never
know.
Yeah, I think so too. That gives us a little bit of
Right.
enforcement.
Yeah,
You know, Chad, you can speak on it too if you want, but I would rather have something in there just in case something would
Right.
pop up. We have something to kind of.
what happened to Sebula, I mean.
Right, and that's what
Right.
I'm thinking, it's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
you never know.
unless there's a good reason, I don't see a reason to take it out.
I agree with that too. And kind of the same thing with junkyards.
It's not like it hurts or costs anything to keep it in there.
No.
Yeah. At least you have something to go on, and
And
it,
have it on either, you not have it.
I do think we need to add something with food trucks, you know, and I think your notes there make sense, you know, not looking for a fee or anything, but just some sort of a process so people can't just show up and set up shop. I mean, we had a scenario last fall where, you know, somebody came in with a coffee and energy drink truck, you know, and didn't say anything, you know, they just started selling. I mean, we've got 2 established businesses in town that sell the same things, so. Not trying to like prevent people from coming in, but I think it's just to have a better rein on it instead of just being, just being kind of the Wild West. And
Well, and didn't we talk about this last summer, or like late spring, early summer, with the farmer's market ladies?
Yeah.
About
I thought the spring we talked about.
wanting to do something, not that we're gonna charge a fee, but
Right.
that we just kind of, maybe they need to come at least come in and.
know, like they're inspected or.
Yeah.
Inspected, insured, yeah.
Exactly.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
just so and they solicit their food trucks, and part of their agreement, farmer's market with the food trucks, is there wouldn't be any extra fees,
Right.
you know, for them
Right.
to come.
Right.
So we wanted to keep it uniform and not step on their toes, which is, you know, there's a lot of cities that maybe charge $20 or something, but
Right.
we wouldn't have to implement a fee, but I did tell Marla we wanna add some wording to address that we do want copies of those, so
Yeah.
that will be.
I think there just needs to be some sort of chain that, you know, they were approved to come in and there's ever any questions or concerns.
Yeah. So the same thing for junkyards, just leave it in there since it's not, okay.
Yeah.
I think so.
And there were a couple optional ones that we don't have in our ordinance, that she threw out there to see if we wanted to, possibly adopt those. One is being the portable storage containers. I don't know if everybody got a chance to read through it. It just outlines that, you know, on residential, commercial, industrial, just uses, and keep them in good repair and not to stack them. And if they are out in the industrial park, keep them out of sight from the main street, just things like that. It's just, they can't just go putting up storage containers anywhere. I don't know. It must be a big thing, or she probably wouldn't have brought it up to consider
I
adopting.
feel like we got a couple calls asking about.
We did,
If
there's
we
a
have
couple
any
residents
rules
in
to 'em.
town.
Yeah, they're becoming more popular, I know that.
Yeah.
Well, they just kinda wanna hide their junk, but
Yeah.
that is not the purpose. This ordinance doesn't say you can do that. This one says it can be there for, during construction time, but after 5 days or whenever you're completed, then they gotta go. So,
I think it's a good thing to have it.
I would agree.
Yeah.
okay,
Especially if we've already got calls on it, like,
yeah. And the other optional one.
because what did we tell the people that called on it?
I told them to treat it like a building permit, which is in that ordinance, that, you know, take a picture of it, give us where you're gonna put it, draw out some plans, what's the purpose of it, and this will make them do that part of it. So, and then I guess we can decide, you know, every ordinance you can request a variance from, if there's something that's gonna be well kept, and then we can decide whether they would consider that a building or not, but, you know, it can't be, you know. So,
Yeah, no, I'm good with it.
okay. The other one was solar power. I hadn't, we don't currently have one of those. WPPI does have some solar agreements, so I had him review, Tom from WPPI review this, and he said that that wouldn't do anything, thought it was fine, it wouldn't cause any issues with the electric utility, so that wouldn't deny anything in our current rates or anything, so. It's kind of in, you know, almost need to be a scientist to understand it, but, we do have a few people in town, well, with our electric that already have solar, and typically they come to us anyway when they wanna add a panel or whatever, so this kinda gives us something to go on that we don't have.
Good to have. I mean, it's kind of a double-edged sword, I think. I mean, it makes sense in a lot of places, but then also we're in the business of selling power too, you know, taxes.
Right.
You know, for income, you know, I mean, but for income, so it's, I kind of look, you look at it both ways from our standpoint, you know?
Yeah, and good, you know, good idea running it through Tom, because we want to make sure we don't, you know, mess up our contract or anything.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
take any chance with there,
Yeah.
so.
I did get hit up too, Cheryl, a couple weeks ago. Somebody asked me if we had an ordinance on, you know, outdoor wood burning stoves, and I couldn't answer. I told them, did you ever get a call on it? I'm gonna reach out down here because they live close to one now in town, and depending on, you know, the way the wind's blowing, the stack sounds like it stacks pretty low on it, and it's just, you smell all day long depending on which way the wind's blowing. And I wouldn't want to smell that all day long either,
No.
I guess, so if that's something we should consider, you know, and if you do allow it, you have to have a certain stack height or something like that. I don't know, but again.
We do have an ordinance
Do
in
we?
there, I'm
We
pretty
do,
sure.
but
I think
I
some of these people had it
grandfathered in on something like that? Is that how that works?
Unless it becomes a nuisance, I would think, but
If you pass a new ordinance, I don't know, but I feel for them, I mean,
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of tough, because if they put it in when the ordinance wasn't there, or it was different, then
but
it's
it's maybe a stack height though, maybe,
Yeah.
you know, you just
yeah,
get it up so it's something,
something,
and that can change on a day,
Yeah.
yeah.
how,
like living next to a campfire all day long,
Right,
you know?
yeah, that would get old fast.
Yeah, no, I can
There's
see
definitely
that.
one in Traverse I can smell every once in a while.
No, there's a couple, yeah,
Yeah.
there's a couple.
We should probably just looking to see if we, what we have, I guess.
I'll bring that up tomorrow too, the next time I talk to her, but,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll just have her review it and see if we can add some language.
I'm sure other
to-
towns are doing the same, have the same issues, so.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's good, yeah, something to talk about for sure.
Okay, I'll have her add the optional ones and keep the two discussed and, make sure the food truck ordinance is added some wordage from that and. Okay.
Okay. Sounds good.
That's something.
And then do we need to, when does it need to be codified? When do we need to be codified by?
Sometime in April, so Marla said we're in good shape, we don't, you know, yeah, we got all of March to,
Yeah.
do whatever we have to do. I think there'll be another public hearing needed and something has to be printed in the paper before we get fully adopted.
Yeah, okay, perfect. All right, okay, let's jump down to, 10. Discuss and consider approval of application and grant writing cost of $1,500 for the federal FEMA assistance, to firefighter grant. This was something Landon, had brought forward. They would like to apply, and I don't know, Cheryl or Ms. Matt, if you wanna talk on it too, I guess, either way. You guys know more about it?
We kind of put it in your updates, just to give you a little background on it. He basically wants the okay to have the grant writer apply for the federal FEMA assistance grant. There's a flat fee for the grant writing of $1,500. And he told me if it was awarded, it would fund the entire cost of the air packs. And that money we have set aside currently in the capital fund is trying to build up for those air packs. That is one of them, and the other one is like a truck fund. But if we can, get a grant that would fully fund it, we wouldn't, you know, there'd be more flexibility in that capital fund, what we could spend it for, so. And he also used if that capital fund can pay for the grant application. And if there would happen to be any matching funds required with this grant, to use that capital fund also, in hopes that, they would get the full amount.
Didn't Landon just come a couple months ago and tell us like we bought used air packs that'll last us another 8 years?
We did, yes. The only hiccup in that whole thing, and I haven't talked to Landon about this request, is there 2 different size air packs. A 2,200 pack and a 4,000. So filling up, not that it's gonna be a headache, but just some adjustment that needs to be had to fill the pack separately. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we've definitely got another 5 years to go. I'm trying to remember how long packs last. If it's 15 years we get.
I thought you said 8 years just to use, or maybe I'm
That's
crazy.
what I thought.
Well, if we got the grant, I mean, I'm assuming we could turn around and sell the ones that were just purchased that have like 8 or however many years.
Yeah, and easily recoup.
Right, and get some of that.
Recoup that, yeah. We could get into the bigger bottles across the whole lineup, for sure. I don't know.
How many air packs do you guys have?
How many air packs? 14, I think.
Mhm.
14 active, and I think we got a couple reserve packs.
So is this grant like a one-time thing, or is it something like if we didn't get it this time, that we could potentially get it down the road?
I don't know, he might have picked this up out of State Fire School too. Talking to a couple of the other chiefs or something like that, maybe is where this came from.
I did look it up online, read about the FEMA. I don't know if it's a rolling grant or every year, or if it's, you know, just depending on funding too. I don't know, but I can check.
He didn't say when this was due by, did he?
I think it's fairly soon.
I was thinking I saw something, was it like by the end of this month?
I think so, end of,
Let's see.
I don't know about the notes, but I thought I saw it
Yeah, I
somewhere.
didn't see any.
but these grants do kind of take time to put together, so. they
Yeah, if
can
it's a
handle it.
federal grant, it's not gonna be
Well,
quick,
they're usually
probably.
pretty competitive,
Yeah.
so.
And this is something Marla can help us with, the grant.
He didn't approach her, I don't know who his grant writer is that he's looking at.
Because we pay to have somebody help us with grants, don't we?
Yeah, ECIA.
Yeah, so can they help, can they?
Yeah. Well, I think, we get one free, or included in that price every year?
Something like that, yeah.
I think at least one.
And have they done one for us yet this year?
I don't think this year Amanda DuPont did our one for the electric that we didn't get, but
I
I don't
wonder
know
if
when.
she could do this one then and not, we're already paying for that service and why pay somebody else to do it, especially if we're not sure if we,
Yeah. The only thing is, I guess, do we have any other ones that would potentially be coming up where?
I mean, if it's gonna, the $1,500 is gonna get paid out of that fire department fund, I mean, if that's how he wants to use those funds, I mean,
It's at the discretion of council though, how he
Okay.
uses them.
yeah, I guess it's coming out of their funds.
that's what I'm saying, like, yeah, I mean,
Good
Yeah.
point.
if that's how he wants to spend that portion of the funds, then
Yeah, I don't have an issue with that.
As long as it's good money spent, I mean.
You know,
Yeah, I mean, we would, if we got it, we would easily sell our other packs and recoup that money, so it would be a wash. The only downfall is if you didn't get it, we would just be out $1,500, so.
but that's kind of.
You guys even discuss this at your meeting or anything?
No, not that I remember.
you know, I guess I would put it back on the fire department then, like, if they can.
Exactly.
I just
And if
texted
the
her.
officers are good with it, then
Yeah, if we're gonna go that way with it, I mean, I can talk with the rest of the officers and.
I guess, I mean, we can say yay or nay, if we come back to you guys to.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, if the whole officer team is on board with it, then
For sure.
absolutely, but if not, then I guess that's you guys to figure that out.
Yeah. Yeah, if council's okay with it, then we'll just,
Yeah.
yeah, we're the department.
It's your guys, it's the fire department's fund that they'd be spending. That's how
Yes,
you
I
guys see
mean, if
that.
they can sell what you just bought, I mean, then that's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except the only downfall is if you don't get awarded it, I don't know how competitive something
Yeah,
like
geez,
this is.
on the 15 we have, we can't get $100 for a bottle, a pack and everything, and a mask, or whatever.
Yeah, and
Should
you
be
gotta,
easily done.
and you gotta back up too, I mean, if you don't get it, you still got those air bottles.
Right.
So
For sure,
it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
like you're.
Yep.
It's probably better to explore something like this when your back's
While
not
you're
against
out.
the wall where it's
Exactly.
like, I need it right now.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
Okay, do we need a motion for that then?
It was action to consider approval, so how do we wanna make the motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the application for the federal FEMA assistance firefighter grant at the discretion of the officer team with fire department.
Second,
I'll second it.
and roll call please.
Matt Peterson?
yes.
Jill Meyer?
Yes.
Lisa Buddy?
Yes.
Adam Ryder?
Yes.
Matt Charity?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's jump down to other business. Harvest Heights, we got an update on some lots. Lot or lots?
We brought it up last meeting that, there's a guy that wanted to put up a couple homes in Harvest Heights. I was asked after that meeting to see if he would, just to throw it out there, whether he would not consider any other siding besides metal. And he just basically said that he would spruce it up and put some brick on the front, around the front and the garage, and so I'm pretty certain that it would be a metal building. But at the end of that meeting, we're all kind of saying, they're nice looking homes and with the location that he was planning. I did tell him that we would think they'd be a good addition to our Harvest Heights. And if he wanted to submit a building permit or make an offer to purchase, just to let us know. So that's the last I heard, so I just wanted to tell you that I did reach out to him on the siding, and that's what he had to tell you.
All right, perfect, thanks for the follow-up on that. Any other discussion, questions? And then I seen in the notes, you talked to Marla about adding that in the ordinance for the language to the building permit. Was that about the siding type, or what was that?
No, the building permits is another whole ordinance. We're adding a section that that kind of matches up with our building permit application. Because there were some discrepancies between the building permit application and what was actually in the ordinance.
Okay.
So we're just tidying that up, making
Okay.
it more
Gotcha.
uniform.
Yep.
And it doesn't really address.
The covenants, you mean, the building permit and the covenants?
No.
No.
This is just the ordinance part of it.
Okay.
But she's not doing our covenant, she's not rewriting our covenant. She's just updating the building permit section of our ordinance that doesn't really address covenants,
Okay.
so.
Yeah, I just wanna make sure we're not being too restrictive in, like, at the end of the day, I mean, just because it didn't say that it can or can't be metal, I don't
No,
wanna
and
be
our
restrictive
covenant
about
already says that
Yeah.
it doesn't
Yeah, it doesn't,
specify.
right.
being strong for all members.
Okay, nope, that's fine, I just wanted to.
Okay.
The urban renewal plan amendment, update.
Well, we finally got the updated descriptions and the maps all worked out. The county had an issue with what Origin Design is the one that's redoing the urban renewal map. And it's just basically adding in a little bit more land to give the opportunity for financing for other businesses located near the downtown, mainly being like Jesse Kilburg over in that area. But the description, and this will be all ready for presentation at the next meeting. We'll set the public hearing at the next meeting, and then Kelly will be at that public hearing and explain the whole purpose of, or what's being amended to our current plan. It's just that it's up to be amended and renewed, so everybody's finally in agreement with moving forward and getting the process going, so.
Okay. That's all you have for that then, Cheryl?
Yeah.
Okay. Jump down to ongoing discussion, the use of the newly acquired property, so the Kilburg property. As you'll see, Mark's gonna be here the 23rd, so we'll kind of talk about, kind of a review of our goal session that we had with him. Shoot, it's probably been a couple months ago now. And yeah, kind of moving forward with what, how we wanna kind of attack those and future stuff.
Yeah, I didn't know if anything was discussed at the committee meeting you guys had at the fire station for use of that building, or if you wanted to bring up some ideas, or just wanna kinda wait and see what Mark has to say on what he came up with for his summary of our goals.
I don't think the fire station will have anything to do with the building itself, that area, you know, so I think it's just, yeah, for the meeting the other day, but.
Yeah, you know, I think it came down to, I think, there's a lot of stuff on the city and that needs to get figured out before anything can happen in the fire department. And we're all excited, there's just a lot of things that have to happen. I mean, it's gonna be another year before we can even start to do anything almost.
Right. Major anyway.
And I think it's the fire department figuring out what their priorities are.
100%.
Like we talked to you, there's a lot that needs to be decided there. You know, we suggested that there's 100 priorities, take it down to, you know, let's narrow them down so we can stay consistent on what we're working on and try to figure that out.
It's gonna be all over the court.
Yeah, and if that is, you know, in addition, so that's the one reason we went down there, you know, looked at floorings and types of things like that, just kind of get an idea of building the bathrooms and stuff like that, and just, you know, just, they need to prioritize what they want, what the need is, you know, so.
Yeah, but it'll be good to kind of review, you know, what we talked about with Mark. I think we had a really nice meeting and talked about a lot of different needs, and stuff like that, so it'd be nice to kind of go back over that and just kind of summarize that, and then, yeah, like I said, try to find a good way forward to start chipping stuff off. So, or working towards it at least, you know, coming up with a plan to start achieving some of this stuff. So anyway, yeah, that Gilbert property, that will be part of that discussion too, so. Do you have anything else, Cheryl, for that? Okay, let's jump to the driveway entrance discussion. What did you have on that, Cheryl?
Just that there was a property owner out in the industrial park that, wanted to widen the driveway, and he asked if it's a city thing, or who does he need to talk to? I had him talk to the guys, and I heard that Eric talked to both. He didn't talk to you guys? He talked to you? Okay. And I didn't know what was said or how we feel about, the consensus I got was that it would, you know, it'd be okay to make it wider, but at his own expense.
Matt talked, Eric never called me, Matt talked to me, we actually talked to, I was down there, I stopped, drove by today, just to look at it, and Jack stopped in too, and we just asked Jack his thoughts, you know, past how it worked. And he said, well, what does the ordinance say? So I guess we'd ask, what does the ordinance say, who's responsible for it? You know, so we stay consistent, we don't, I guess that's why we have the ordinances, so we can follow them. And so whatever the ordinance says, I think we need to know that. But,
Yeah.
and then just the way the ground lays down there, I don't know. You know, it almost looks like it flows the opposite way a little bit.
Yeah, that's not the problem, the making it wider, there's a tube that's underneath the current driveway, and it's been collapsed for who knows how long.
Like it's getting driven over the one end.
Yeah, you can't see it
You just
anyway,
keep
so
driving
we're
over it. And
not sure if it's in use, if it's active, if it needs to be there, or if you can just widen it out or whatever. So, yeah, I guess whatever, if there is an ordinance, who's
Yeah.
responsible for it?
Yeah,
Tube that's there,
Jack
tube that's
thought
put
there
in.
was, but I guess we just need to find that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, yeah, let's go off the ordinance and,
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a big deal if it does, it's just who's responsible for it at that
Right.
point type of thing, you know? You know, there's different ways to look at it, there's some parts that are just swale versus having them, because it's only gonna, what would you have to cover on it?
The tube will be 6 inches underneath the top.
So it's
To have any fall.
It's hard to get any cover on it,
It'll crush it.
because there's some spots that are just swales versus tubes, and what's the best thing to go with? That's, limited cover on it.
thunderstorm events down south, it causes a freeze off of the gas pipeline, which in turn increases the rate to about $6 an MCF. Spot pricing between $40 and 75 cents, so it's gonna be an impact for the February bill. He did say, things were looking better and the temperatures were increased, but, you guys can read it all yourselves. It's just that he wanted to give us heads up that this is, not the first time this happened, and, you know, just to anticipate a higher price for the gas.
We say we're at 6 now, and it could go to 8 to 10 or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But hopefully it won't.
Happened last year too.
About 3, 4, 5, 6 years, remember that?
2001.
Or,
We had a
2019,
We
it
had a
was
recall.
And it cost us a lot of money.
Yeah.
He had it, he stated it in there, it was in February 2021.
Or 21, okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was huge.
Yeah.
Everything just went nuts.
up here.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess,
Well, for warm rest of the month, and,
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
shouldn't be too much of a shock, hopefully.
yeah.
yeah, but at least they're kind of giving us a heads up of what could be coming, so.
So this hasn't happened yet, or it's going to be?
It already did.
Okay.
Well, they
Because it
did,
goes so
yeah.
south.
Yeah. But it'll start affecting us.
It'll be the next bill.
Next bill.
Yeah, when you'll see the,
They did as much as they could on their end to protect us with our reserves and everything that we have in storage gas, and,
Yeah.
they just said thankfully that the high level of hedged and stored gas,
might not make it as bad as what it could have,
Yeah.
basically.
Soften the blow.
February's still gonna be elevated due to the high.
Yeah, yeah, you're still gonna see a higher bill, but. So just a heads up on that, so.
Yeah.
Summer help, Carson was with us last summer, and it sounds like he will not be back, this summer, so, we'll probably have to start figuring out, or open that back up if we wanna do that again. Just kind of a heads up, everybody's good with it, I think it's worked well for us, so.
Yeah, I would propose we advertise, but, you know, I would like to see, you know, ask the question now, you know, what do we, for the 450 hours, what extra projects have we acquired? You know, what is getting done with that 450 hours, just kind of a update, because I think like the first 4 or 5 years on the council, we didn't have it, and then the last 4 or 5 we probably have, which again, I think is good, but show us, what are we getting out of that 450 hours? What projects have been accomplished by having that extra help, to help justify what we're doing?
Yep, not a bad ask.
Yeah, we didn't go out or advertise until the last year. Application deadline was end of March, so
Yeah,
just kind of,
yeah, we got a little bit of time, but yeah, just a heads up if, yeah, that'll probably be coming back up. And if we need some more information on it, we do have a little bit of time, so.
I can ask guys just to kind of summarize what may or may not have gotten done, you know. What, you know, alleviates what others do, so more projects can get done.
Maybe come back with their feelings on it, if they like it, if they think it's worth it, if it's kind of, you know, duplicated, you know, so.
Okay.
Everybody good with that? The last one is the, possible budget workshop, but it sounds like we're not gonna do that, after this meeting, so I don't know if you want to do the next meeting. Is
We'll
that what
probably
you're
have to,
thinking?
depending on how long the meeting is, try to, you know, at least get a few more of the general fund ones ran past the library is done, I'm working on the parks. I just wanna hopefully get those quotes. The crack sealer guys were supposed to be here, and we've got the quote for, seal coating, and I just also wanna have any other street projects or any maintenance things. We're waiting for Jeremy to give us an updated maintenance report on the vehicles. Just a few things that need to all come together, but yeah, at least would like to touch on something after next meeting and keep the budget
Yeah,
stuff moving along.
yeah, I agree. So, plan on that.
Yeah.
And then Chad, you got anything? Okay. Okay, anybody else got anything for other business?
I got a couple of things. At the fire department meeting, we were talking about, fire hydrant pressure testing. Did Landon reach out to you guys or Tim about that by chance?
Not me, and Tim didn't mention anything.
Okay, maybe just check with Tim and, well, don't let me speak mad incorrectly, but there was, yeah, go ahead if you don't mind. What was
All the details on it?
yeah,
When we were at State Fire School, part of our insurance rating, that you can score or whatever, a bunch of different categories. Something that we have missed on our list, which is worth a good couple, 3 points, was hydrant testing, just flow testing.
Yeah, Landon did send me that.
Yeah, and it's just kind of goes into detail on how they want the testing done and how to paint the hydrants, so we know which one's got good flow, bad flow, whatever. Just kind of the down and dirty of how the hydrant system works, and then we can get that into our report and then get that to the state so they can record that, so.
for the ISO rating, we can get up to 40, total 40 points on that one. And is it every year this has to be done, or what was it?
It's twice a year.
Huh?
I think it was,
Oh, total water points, that's water supply, that's everything.
That's
The water,
everything, not
water
just-
testing itself is only worth 3 points.
Okay.
I think it had to be done twice a year.
Twice a year, but as of right now, we have no records of
We
it.
have, the last one he found was October 2001, so that's an easy way to get us 3 points. I mean, you know, so training and this were easy.
Correct.
Easy points for us.
You know, the water testing had to be done twice a year, and we already flush all the hydrants twice a year, and it was literally, hey, if we, whatever we need to do to test the flow, can we purchase that or get that somewhere? Maybe we already have it, use it, and then maybe Tim does it the one time, and maybe the fire department does it the next time. And, you know, maybe add a little bit to Tim's one time, but if you only had to do it once, and the fire department do it the other time, and helps us on the ISO stuff, then I think it makes all sense in the world.
And I did forward that, I remember I did forward it on to Tim, and that's,
Yeah, we're,
hopefully him and Landon.
I mean, I think we might as well do it. I think it's something we should do, and
Oh, we can get points on this easy. We talked about, Lance talked about the truck points, which is the
Yeah,
big issue now. This is easier points and more points than we can get for this.
low cost.
Well, yeah, well,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that we
absolutely.
can just grab and
Yeah.
do it. And if we don't have the gauges or whatever we need to do, I guess have them price it, because if we're gonna do it twice a year, yeah, it's something we should have equipment ourselves.
Correct. Yeah, 100% agree.
Yeah. But I just was very interested, and Landon did a really good job on his email following up to us.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. So, he explained all that. It was a good meeting to go to, you know, educate for us. And then, on the updates, Sherry, you did a great job on the updates, I love the updates. Could we have the department heads do updates too, to kind of tell us what goes on? Like, I don't know if there's just a certain criteria you wanna use, I know we did it for a while, but, you know, like, what's happened since the last 2 weeks, what's going on now, what do they predict or something, just kind of an update on each department, just straight from the heads, just a paragraph, don't have to be.
From the desk of the heads.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about overthinking it, just a synopsis of what's been, you know, what's going on,
Right,
so.
right.
You know,
'Cause you-
straight from their mouth in a nutshell.
Yeah, because some of us, well, most of us work out of town, so it's hard for us to kind of keep a, you know, keep a grasp of what's happening, day-to-day stuff, so.
Yeah, a lot of times they come in and tell me what, you know, like Tim had some issues again out at the lagoon, and he's got people coming to test this, and, you know, if something goes down. And I've done that in the past, I've added it to them, but sometimes I just don't get that, but yeah. I'm gonna
I think we
do
just put it on them and just have them jot it down.
Like once a month?
It doesn't take much to do, because we have it every meeting, you know, just the updates, it doesn't, write a paragraph, it doesn't take too long. Easier if I do it every meeting than it is once a month, it
Yeah.
take
Trying to-
longer
trying to
then.
remember
What,
back 3
what you
weeks
did that
ago.
week or last 2 weeks, and what you
Yeah.
plan to do the next 2 weeks.
Exactly,
Something really short.
yeah.
Yeah, like that. I mean, there's not a lot to update during the garbage, on the garbage side of things, you know, that kind of stuff, but if there's something that comes up, yeah.
Yeah, something comes up, yeah.
Jump out of this one dumpster.
Yeah, exactly. And then I might be prejudiced on this next one, but west side would be cutting the electric across, not electric, the sewer. That dip's getting really big.
Right, I said something to Eric
If
about
you can
that
feel
one.
that, it's getting,
Friday.
it's getting bad.
Where
Yeah.
at?
On West Street,
Looking forward.
yeah, it's
Oh,
getting,
yeah.
it's getting pretty bad.
He said he was gonna throw more rock in there, his rock pile was frozen, it sounded like, so.
Maybe the guy will get some more,
Yeah,
you know,
Yeah.
and do it, and then just take something heavy, a skid loader or something, pack it down,
Yeah.
not the best they can, because it's getting pretty deep.
yeah.
That's all
And
I
then,
have.
I don't know if we need to talk about patching that at all, like,
That's what I was
Like-
wondering, like, this summer when you have them come in, it'd
Yeah.
be good to do that.
if we don't, yeah, even if we throw a little bit of blacktop in there or something.
Yeah, pretty minute, just when they come in, just seal coat or something, they can just do that little area.
Right. So. Okay, anybody else got anything? Okay, sounds good, I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second,
Second,
and roll call please.
Adam Ryder,
yes.
Lisa Buddy,
Yes.
Matt Shorty,
Yep.
Matt Peterson,
Yes.
Dylan Meyer.